Ferdinand Georg Waldmüller, 1793 to 1865, was one of the most influential Austrian painters of the 19th century and a prominent representative of the Biedermeier era. His artistic legacy is marked by an extraordinary dedication to realism, an unmatched mastery of light, and a deep respect for nature. Waldmüller's works continue to be celebrated for their clarity, precision, and ability to capture the intimate rhythms of everyday life in Austria. Early life and education. Waldmüller was born on January 15, 1793, in Vienna, Austria, into a modest family. His artistic inclination became evident at a young age, and despite financial limitations, he managed to pursue formal art instruction. He enrolled in the Academy of Fine Arts Vienna, where he studied painting and drawing. However, Waldmüller was never fully satisfied with the Academy's rigid academic traditions. His independent spirit and desire to develop a personal artistic voice often put him at odds with the formal teaching of the time. To support himself, he worked as a portrait painter and even taught art. His early portraits reveal his technical skill and attention to realistic detail, qualities that would later define his mature style. Professional development and influences. In the early 19th century, Waldmüller traveled extensively throughout Austria and parts of Europe. These trips exposed him to the works of Dutch and German masters, whose naturalistic and detailed style greatly influenced him. His growing interest in nature led him to explore landscapes and rural scenes, subjects that would become central to his artistic identity. By the 1820s and 1830s, Waldmüller had established himself as both a respected portraitist and a skilled landscape painter. Vienna's middle class, rising in influence during the Biedermeier period, became his primary patrons. They appreciated his ability to portray domestic tranquility, rural simplicity, and family-centered ideals, core values of the era. Master of light and realism. Waldmüller is often celebrated as one of the greatest Austrian realists. His keen observational skills and scientific approach to natural light set him apart from his contemporaries. Rather than idealizing his scenes, he sought to paint life as it truly appeared, with all its subtle variations in color, texture, and atmosphere. His landscapes, in particular, show an extraordinary understanding of how light interacts with foliage, water, and human figures. Paintings such as a harvest, Corpus Christi procession in Perchtoldsdorf, and early spring in the Vienna woods demonstrate his ability to merge precise detail with emotional depth. Waldmüller's use of bright, clear color and his focus on seasonal light effects were ahead of his time, foreshadowing later developments in plein air painting and even Impressionism. Genre scenes and human emotion. Another major aspect of Waldmüller's work is his genre painting. He frequently depicted rural life, children at play, mothers with their families, and peasants working in fields or celebrating local customs. These scenes were not merely decorative. They captured social realities and moral lessons. Waldmüller believed art should honor truth and sincerity. In paintings such as A Letter, The Expectant Mother, and The Farewell, he combined meticulous detail with storytelling, illustrating human emotions with honesty and warmth. His genre paintings helped define the Austrian Biedermeier aesthetic, intimate, peaceful, and grounded in everyday experience. Conflicts with the Academy. Despite his success, Waldmüller's independent artistic philosophy often brought him into conflict with Vienna's art establishment. He strongly criticized the Academy of Fine Arts for clinging to outdated traditions and failing to embrace the study of nature as a foundation of artistic training. Waldmüller advocated for students to observe life directly rather than rely on academic formulas. These outspoken views eventually led to professional tension. In 1857, after years of disagreements and criticism, he was removed from his teaching position at the Academy. Although this dismissal affected his career, Waldmüller continued painting and maintained his popularity among patrons. Later years and recognition. In his later years, Waldmüller devoted much of his time to landscape painting, producing some of the finest works of his career. His matured style became even more focused on natural light and atmospheric effects. Despite facing institutional opposition, his reputation among the public and art collectors continued to grow. Toward the end of his life, Waldmüller began to receive renewed respect. The Academy